Malcolm is the co-founder of Black Futures Farm. For those of you who don't know, Black Futures Farm is located in Southeast Portland, nestled within the Brentwood Darlington neighborhood. It sits on 1.15 acres and it grows 17 different fruit, vegetables, and flowers, as well as medicinal and cooking herbs. The mission is to heal the connection between Black people and the land and achieve this through cultivating a healthy place for Black community to gather. This is right in line with our discussion today, which we'll hop right into very soon. But before we get started, I want to encourage everyone in the chat to give us some likes and engagement and place any questions that you have into the chat, and we'll try to get those answered today by Malcolm if we have time at the end. And please stay behind a little bit for a few announcements and upcoming things that Imagine Black is going to be doing. So let's hop right into it. So the first question is, how would you describe the work that you do?
Um, how would I describe it? Hi everybody. What's happening? I'm Malcolm. How would I describe our work? And first of all, thank you for asking me to come.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I've been thinking a lot about this because I'm just always thinking about how and what and how we got here. But I think the key part of our work is cultivating relationships, like a relationship with the land, which is a lifetime pursuit.
Yeah.
Relationships with each other, relationship to community and being in community and being right sized, a relationship to spirit and our ancestors. We cultivate relationships through cultivating a relationship with the land at Black Futures. So we like to say we grow food and community. We actually grow about 70 different things, but we have 17 mature fruit trees, and then a variety of herbs and spices.
Very cool.
Yeah, herbs and other sundry cool things. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a very wonderful place.
Yeah. Are you a native Portlander? And
I'm not.
where you're from shape your how you engage with the city?
Yeah, I'm originally from a small town in Northern California in the Bay Area, East Palo Alto, California. What's up, road, for all my East Palo Africans. I am originally from East Palo Alto. I grew up between the Bay and Philly, Pennsylvania, and it shapes me a lot. I mean, it's the foundation of who I am. When I was coming up in East Palo Alto is where Facebook is now.
Okay.
But when I was growing up there, it was an unincorporated part of the San Mateo County. And it was no sidewalks, no streetlights, 3.5 square miles, and we are 3.5 miles from end to end. And we were a very close-knit community of people who, everybody in that town at that time knew me and my cousins, and we all knew each other. And people raised one another's kids. And I'm blessed to have been a part of that and a product of that community in Nairobi, California. And it was a particular movement. East Palo Alto was known as the Nairobi community. It was a seat of Pan-Africanism and Black intellectual and social power.
Yeah.
And then my parents divorced. My father moved to Philly, and then I moved to Philadelphia and went to middle through high school there. And Philly is a different kind of place. It's a different pace, different speed. I grew up in the bosom of I grew up in the bosom of a Black community, no matter where I've been. But Philly was like rough and tumble. I learned to fight in Philadelphia, but I also learned all of these really important people skills. I learned how to adapt. I was exposed to it's such a cosmopolitan city. And it was huge, Philadelphia is vast. And so my cousins and I would strike out and just explore the city, get on a bus or our bikes, and we'd just be out all day. Philadelphia gave me I'm born into a family of activists.
Okay.
And so my dad, mom, grandparents, great-grandfather, grandfather, all these people had been organizers and activists.
Oh, wow.
For always.
Yeah.
And farmers.
Okay.
And when I got to Philly, I got to, it's the birthplace of American democracy. So when I got to Philadelphia, coming up in the public school system there, I went to a private school there as well. Ivy League, which is an all-black school, but mostly I went to public school in Philly. Central High School, class of 247. um, you know, just like they're about that, like Free
Yeah.
Speech Corner in downtown in Old City, and like how the Constitution came to be and what America is really supposed to be about. So the aspirational idea of America when I was growing up was very much pushed in the Philadelphia public school system.
Okay.
And so yeah, it really shaped me in my sense of who I am, how I am, and why I am.
Awesome.
Another Philly cat in the house. Yeah, that I mean. Shout out to my man Ambush coming at the right time.
Yeah, so you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what inspired the creation of Black Futures Farm and how did the idea take root? Like, walk us through the
Okay.
inception of it.
Yeah. I named it, but I can't take credit for creating because it was a community creation,
Okay.
you know. So I was brought into farming. Like I said, my family were all farmers, but I'm a city rat. Like I had a garden and houseplants, but I never like was like, oh, I'm gonna farm and grow food for the people. I never thought of that. I used to wear a suit and tie to work. I worked for the government. I worked for nonprofits. I was in the military. Farming was literally, if somebody laid out 100 things that you want to do with your life, farming would not have been 175th. You, not on my agenda at all, because like a lot of Black people, I associate farming with slavery,
Yes.
you know, and like from my family, it was, and they're all gardeners. They all grow stuff, but like getting out of the deep South, my dad comes from North Carolina. My mom's from Tennessee. You know, getting out of the deep South and moving into the cities was like an accomplishment, or it was, that's what was shared with me.
Yes.
Like, and we will go back down South all the time, but like the city cousins versus the country cousins, it was like always kind of like a thing, you know?
Like a rift, for sure.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you know, we love them and they love us, but you know, not even a source of contention, but distinction.
Yeah.
Y'all are different than us. And you know, like it's something maybe as a young person I shouldn't take so much pride in, because when they would leave me down south, can I just tell you, they're like having to sleep on the floor of an unair conditioned house in the hot sweltering Tennessee heat is not the business.
No.
And my grandfather one time, he just made a pallet for me on the floor with like 3 blankets and a sheet and a pillow. He's like, I see you in the morning. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, where's my bed?
Yeah.
He like pointed just like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is punishment. But my family grew up like that, in that same shotgun shack where they didn't even have indoor plumbing for like until I think the 60s.
Okay.
You know, they did have the first, they did have electricity, and they did have the first TV on the block.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, it shaped me. So anyway, to answer your question, I come from that, like a family of farmers, like country folk, but I grew up in the city. And I came to Portland to like, I had a bad cocaine habit. I was homeless for a long time, like a couple years in and out. And I came up here because I had a friend who had a place for me. And then it got worse before it got better because, you know, I was on drugs. So, of course, I acted like an ass and he put me out, as he should have. And, yeah, I was on the street, you know, and just not to get dark, but I was going to kill myself. And I had a vision of my daughter, and I saw her like in the mist. This is very like real. And she had the look of sadness on her face, so I couldn't do it. So I got on the phone, called my dad. I was like, hey man, I need some help. My dad's been in recovery now for almost 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, all right, if you're ready to get off that shit, you know. So I called my uncle Alfred, who was like 30 years clean at that time. He passed. And you know, they got on the phone. My uncle got on the computer. He like doesn't use computers. And they found a meeting for me, and I went to the meeting and went through rehab, and then I went through detoxing and went through rehab. I lived right at 8th and Burnside for like almost 9 months. And then fast forward, I'm working at the Oregon Food Bank. I got out of rehab, I'm working at the Oregon Food Bank. I go outside, I meet Art and Shantae, a mud bone grown. And I was just in so much pain from making such a mess of my life. And I had like literally taken a paper shredder to everything I had built. And I discovered that I didn't know who I was. And I had been play acting the part of a good dude for a long time, while like I was in a lot of pain and like drinking a lot and snorting cocaine and like smoking way too much weed and just abusing people, like abusing all my friendships, just like a shitty person in life, really. But played a good dude. Like you play a fun guy on TV, but really you're horrible. Um, and I had to reconcile that and like heal my relationships. So I just didn't know how to do it. Um, but you know, when I was on that bridge and I couldn't jump off, I told the ancestors, since y'all won't let me do this, you have to show me what to do with my life. Like show me how to do this. And I went outside one day and Art and Shantae were out there farming. And I started talking to them and I was like, oh, I found some Black people who are like me, you know? And I would hang out with them every day. And Art says to me one day, he's like, bro, we love you. Like, we love hanging out with you. But we don't get no work done. So when you out here, you got to do some work. I was like, oh, yeah, show me what to do. And I think I also had butchered a collard green plant. And he was like, this dude is horrible. And yeah, so the second my hand touched the soil, like I felt this healing, this energy jumped up in me that I had not ever felt before. And I was like, oh yeah, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And so I just would go back every day. And then they brought me in and yeah, they started like mentoring me, you know, and like teaching me how to farm and like grow this relationship with the soil and the land. And I was like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm with the right people at the right time in the right place. And if I've learned anything is that you have to be obedient, you know. And I was home one time and I was like, you know, grumbling about my life. And, you know, the spirit said to me, grow where you're planted. Okay. And so Art and Shantae, fast forward, Art and Shantae get this grant. And they bring community together. And one of the ideas around how we're going to spend like not a lot of money. And one of the ideas we came up with was to, it was Regrow, was the name of the little program we had. And was, okay, we're going to build gardens for each other in each other's backyards, like as a community.
Oh, wow.
And then, so we did that. And I think we built 8 gardens. And then Art and Shantae got a little plot of land over at 60th and Simpson. I had a little half-acre land. And so we would mash over there on Sundays and hang out, the We Grow group.
Okay.
And we just, you know, and also Happiness Family Farms was there. And we just, it was, so they had a half-acre and then we had a half-acre. And it was just, that's how Black Sundays started. We were just there on Sundays hanging out, growing food, vibing, playing music. You know, like people would bring their seeds and, you know, we had that. And it was like, we brought a grill out there, of course. Gotta have grill. Yeah. And it was just like this beautiful, like, cause you know, I'm like still in my like hard, like beginning of my recovery still. And, you know, there's a mourning period and, you know, where you've lost this old life. And, you know, this is common in the recovery community. We're like, I used to be's and hey, Jay, you know, used to do's and used to be's. And I'm still stuck up in that. And I was like, yo, my life is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I have a beautiful life. And I had met Mirabai. You know, I met this amazing woman who like cracked me open and saw me and was like, hey, what's in there is beautiful. You could be better. Yeah. It's cool, you know. And we were friends and we just like would hang out and talk about writing and poetry and like, so then we got a piece of land. I had a garden over at 60th in where we are now, Southeast 60th between Duke and Flavel. It was a little garden. I had hooked up with this brother Charles Hanna, who now Baba Tahuti, who is the owner of Third Eye Books.
Oh, yeah. We love Third Eye Books.
Yeah, so Charles and I used to work at this organization, Impact Northwest. He was my boss actually in like this family wellness program, and he had got me a little garden plot across the street in the Learning Gardens lab for our families, right? So I was doing like therapeutic gardening. Yeah. And Charles, because he's a pioneer, had wandered over to where Black Futures is now, and was like, hey, what would this look like for us to get it for Black folks? So I did my due diligence. It turned out the guy who had taught my Master Gardener program was also, I'm sorry for this long ass answer, was also the leaseholder for this land, right? Yeah. So I believe in this principle called divine mathematics, which is when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you know, when you're being obedient, that things happen for you and around you that are beyond your control. Things happen for you that you could not do for yourself
Mhm.
because the ancestors laid things out for you to go and pick up.
Yeah.
And so that was that land, that was Art and Shantae, that was Mirabai. And yeah, so that was December 2019, March, the pandemic hit. Um, how we came across the name is I used to like write on a lot of people's walls. And we were trying to name the farm. I had a few names, but I just was like Black Futures Farm. And just the way I wrote it, it was like, stop right here.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And I showed Mirabai, I was like, yo, what do you think? And she's like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And so that's our logo.
Yeah.
You know, like I wrote it probably, I don't know, 50 more times to get the lettering right. And then that's our logo and that's the name of the farm. And, you know, that's how we got started. You know, it was just a beautiful experience. And
So
it's been a
that's
beautiful gift.
2019. That's been 6 years now, right? Okay.
It's been, yeah. So 2026 will be our 7th season. Yeah.
Super cool. When you like envisioned the space, what did you hope it would mean to the Black community in Portland specifically? And has the vision like evolved over time? Or
The vision has remained
Yeah.
the same, I
Okay.
think, or fundamentally, and there's been things that have been added on to
Okay.
it. I experienced a great and continue to experience a great building and healing, a healing in a building in my relationship with the land.
Okay.
You know, we're born from the earth, Black people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big Bible thumper, but it does say in the Bible that I knelt down by the riverside, pulled some mud out, crafted man in my image, and blew my breath into him, therefore creating life. Paraphrasing. Mud is brown. You know, we know that we were the first people to master the seed, to watch the cycles, we were the first people to do that. We were the first people to bring agriculture to the earth. It's like our fundamental gift. And African people were brought here not just because we were conspicuous laborers, although that's what they would tell you.
Yeah.
We were brought here first because of our knowledge of rice.
And expertise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And we were agricultural scientists. And so I honor that, right? Like that's in my spirit.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I knew that if it could bring me this healing, who was low and like done, like my life was destroyed.
Mm.
If it could bring me this healing, then I wanted to give access to that to every single Black person in this community.
Yeah.
I wanted all of us to have it. It's available to all of us. And I wanted to grow food and give food away to Black people because we don't have access to really good food. And people don't understand what it is when you have food that like to nourish your body that is actually
Yeah.
delicious and really good for you.
Yeah. Especially like years and years and years on end of having access to that food.
Yeah.
It definitely
It
makes a
elevates your
difference.
health.
Yeah. Mhm.
It makes you feel better when you can just me like, hey, eat this tomato, or here's a fig that we grow, or
Yeah.
have these grapes. To watch Black people be like, oh my God, I could just eat this off the tree. Or I've never had anything that tastes like this. Like, what?
Yeah. Or not knowing what a certain thing looks like when it comes out of the ground.
That's right.
You know? Yeah.
That's right. So I want all of us to have that.
Yeah.
And so since then we've grown. Our brother Eddie Hill, who was one of my early mentors as well, brought the sustainability piece to it. Like, oh, this should be an off-grid farm.
Mhm.
So now if you go out to our farm, you'll see we have a 240 kilowatt hour solar installation.
Oh, cool.
I used to work in tech, so that's part of the futures thing. I wanted to be able to use technology at the farm in smart ways. And so we've been experimenting, and we have like an internet of things. We have the internet out there. We have, high speed internet. We have like a lot of things coming too, but also just earth-based technology. Like,
Yeah.
how do you use the earth in different ways to benefit? We have a water reclamation project. We had a lot of cool stuff happening at the farm.
Very cool.
So yeah, originally just to like grow community and heal, and then we kind of added the tech layer. And anything I do is about gathering community. So we continue to have Black Sundays, and I think now we're at like, I think next season we'll start at like 118. I have to confirm that. It might be 120 consecutive
Oh,
Black
wow.
Sundays.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Black Sunday. It's like one of those things. Before I started working at Imagine Black, I would hear through the grapevines, like, have you been to Black Sunday? Have you been to Black Sunday? And it's kind of an iconic thing now
I
amongst
love that.
like
I
Black
love that it has
Portlanders.
become a thing.
And if you guys have not checked out Black Sunday next summer, definitely.
Yeah.
When you guys start up again,
May 19th,
May
Malcolm
19th.
X's birthday
Okay,
weekend is
perfect.
when we'll start back.
Awesome.
So we run Black Sunday, May through October.
Okay.
It roughly follows our season, our
Yeah.
growing season.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into some of the more juicy questions.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So given like everything happening right now politically, right? How do you see farming and reconnecting to the land as a form of resistance, empowerment, and reclamation, specifically in this climate today? Um, yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I come from a very, like I said, an activist family in politics, and we've been Black in America since before America was here.
Yeah.
Um, I actually just found out last night. There's a family connection to the Nansemond Indian tribe. Like, I'm a Bass, and that's a really popular name in that tribe, and so I need to do the knowledge and find out if I'm related to them. But yeah, we may also be Nansemond Indians. Anyway, farming as resistance. We also started or co-founded an organization called the Black Food Sovereignty Coalition.
Mm-hmm.
And sovereignty is about control over your own environment
Yeah.
at its most basic level, right? Like, to have sovereignty is to be in control of this, as much of it as you can. And so one of our goals as BFSC, the Black Food Sovereignty Coalition, is to build a comprehensive food system that serves and centers Black people.
Oh, definitely.
And Black Futures is part of that vision. If you learn to grow your own food, I tell people, if you want to put a number on it, you can learn relatively low effort to grow the equivalent of about $200 worth a month of food to feed your family. And that doesn't require a big area. It doesn't require a lot of soil. It's just like basic maintenance, like kind of a, your startup curve might be a little rough because you have to learn how to pay attention to the plants and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, and that's during the growing season. And then if you want to extend it, you get a little, high tunnel or whatever. But so to be able to give people the ability to produce food for themselves is a revolutionary act. Malcolm said, if you can't feed the people, you can't lead the people.
Definitely.
He also said land is power. The basis of all power is land. We don't own the land we're on. We lease it from the city. We have a license, rather. One of our long-term plans is to buy some land. But we have other farmer affiliated, like Feed 'em Freedom, Mudbone Grown is same folks, Black Oregon Land Trust, Sacred Land Collective up in Everett. There's a lot of Black farms in this area, and Art and Shantae are the tip of the spear of a movement of Black people who are acquiring land and farming and learning to farm, right? There's Cross-Eyed Cricket, and there's a lot of, outside of the Black community, there are a lot of POC farmers.
Okay.
We really have a lot of close alliances in growing them in an organic and real way with a lot of native farmers, like Wapato Island Farm, our sister Jenny Cerna. It's really important that we seize control of our own diets, the way we eat, what we eat. And then, because we are an agricultural people, we learn to gather and collect and organize around food.
Definitely.
Right? And when you can feed the people, that's one of the most powerful things that the Panthers ever did, was the free breakfast program.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm a product of that. My dad was in the Panther Party. I remember them oatmeal breakfasts with the carob chips and the frozen bananas for a treat. Frozen bananas dipped in chocolate for a treat with a little hard ass stick in there. And, it was like, but it was in pancakes. And they had these veggie sausages, and all the stuff was homemade. And it was all you could eat. They didn't tell you, little brother, you got enough. Brown sugar and butter. Okay, little man, they never said that. Eat all you can, eat all you can. Make sure you're full, because when you get to school, and they did it at our school, when school starts, you got to make sure you have a full stomach. I was a product of the school at Nairobi Day School. We ate breakfast, we had a free breakfast, and then we had an assembly in the morning, and we would sing together for an hour in a circle with all of our teachers and all the members of the school community. And then we would go to class. After we ate breakfast, we would sing together. We sang Black Power songs and danced in a circle. And then we would all go to class and go to school.
And that just set the tone.
Man,
Yeah.
did it.
Hmm.
So Black Futures is all those things. I want to collect the people to a place
Yeah.
where we can eat and enjoy each other and just be Black and enjoy our common vibration.
Yeah.
And if you're Black, you're welcome. If you're not, you can come Monday through Saturday. Black Sunday is just for us.
Yeah.
And experience the power of just being in community, right?
Yeah.
And having joy with each other. Joy is an act of resistance, especially in a system that is literally designed to oppress you.
Yeah.
So to teach people to grow their own food, to collect them, to celebrate each other, enjoy, and to be able to be free, Black, and proud in a place with your kid folks, that, and preparing people and teaching them that this system, I'm not a political education person formally.
Mm-hmm.
I did used to teach high school, but this system is not built to endure. It's not. It's like a get rich quick scheme and is falling apart in front of our eyes.
Definitely.
So another Futures and Black Futures Farm is we have to plan for what's next. We have to teach each other how to take care of each other and practice that.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm proudest of is the community that has grown up
Absolutely
in and around Black Futures Farm.
Yeah.
Where I've seen people meet and learn to love and care for each other and visit each other and take care of one another and really be in community. And I'm wondrously proud that we get to be a hub of that.
Yeah.
And to foster that and help people grow that.
Yeah. Definitely. So yeah, that kind of, my next question sort of touches on that a little bit, but in terms of like, what advice would you give to someone just like maybe the average Black Portlander who maybe lives in an apartment, grocery shops, and is sort of like the average person who's maybe disconnected from the food, disconnected from the land? Like, what are some simple steps, like beginning steps to start getting back to that sort of connection? Not that we'll ever be able to replicate what our ancestors had, but like, how do we
want better than what they had.
Yeah. Definitely.
We want better than what they had.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're going to go back to the continent before the age of contact.
Yeah.
But I want even better than that.
Yeah.
I want better than Wakanda. I want a thing that I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I want free and total liberation for all oppressed people worldwide.
Yeah.
And all people. I want us to be free of this shitty system. I want us to be free of capitalism. I want us to be free of oppression and all of it. I want us to truly be free with one another and be the human beings that we were created to be.
Yeah.
And that's possible, but not under this system.
Definitely.
What advice would I give to those people?
Yeah.
Grow a plant.
Grow a plant.
Grow a plant.
Yeah.
Develop a relationship with the plant. A plant is a living thing. You grow one plant. Don't try to conquer 5 acres. It's too much damn work.
Yeah.
Grow a tomato plant.
Yeah.
Get some asparagus spears and stick them in the dirt and wait 2 years and watch them grow. Get a grow light off eBay for $10, and put it in your kitchen and sit under it yourself because it benefits you. Just learn. And you can't, this is the thing, you cannot learn to farm on YouTube. You can't Instagram it. You can't TikTok it. You can't do any of those things. This is an in-person experience that you have to have.
Yeah.
You have to know what it's like when you pick up a plant or you pick up I picked up some bananas at the store the other day, and I noticed, you know what the word turgid means?
No.
Turgid refers to like how like squishy something is. Basically, it's like a measure of like kind of water pressure or the amount of water in the thing. I think that's the definition. And I was like, oh, these are kind of squishy. And I was like, damn, dude, like, why are you always critiquing other people's stuff? You don't even grow bananas.
I feel like the quality of the produce the last couple months.
Yeah, it's raggedy.
Like,
it's real raggedy. Yeah. It's real raggedy.
You're like, ooh.
But when you develop a relationship with plants, you learn to like, you can notice, oh, it's not as green as it should be.
Yeah.
It probably needs some water.
Yeah.
What vitamins and minerals is this soil lacking? Like that's the thing that you have to develop up close in person. And you go kill some plants, the plants are gonna die. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Throw them back in the earth and give their substance back to the earth. It's iterative.
Yeah.
You learn and you build on learning. I've just been doing this 8 years, and I feel like I just started to understand the tools of like how to do it well.
Yeah. And it's like getting back in tune to like processes that are happening all around us that we've been disconnected from. I think we spoke about that a little bit in the first episode, but in order to get people to even care about climate change or the earth in general, people need to be they need to fall in love with the land in order to learn how to protect it. And it's like we're not really picking berries. We're not, like getting the produce and having that satisfaction of putting hard work into something and seeing so how are you supposed to feel a connection and care about it if you're not engaging in it in that way?
And it
So the
takes time.
advice is like get a plant, start there, and then build out.
Yeah.
That's definitely really powerful. I always tell people go for walks too and just take a minute to
Touch
just
some
be
grass.
there. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
touch
sure.
some grass. I mean, yeah, if you have a balcony, if you have a kitchen window, anything, like where you can put a plant and watch that plant grow. I love monsteras and
Hmm.
colocaceas and alocasias. Um, they're like exotics, not super exotic, but they require a certain amount of care. Um, but even if you just watch some ivy grow, it's having a relationship with the plant
Yeah.
and watching this plant grow, noticing when it needs moisture, noticing that, oh, what happens if I put coffee grounds in the soil?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, what happens 2 weeks later? Watch that plant.
Hmm.
Oh, I broke my plant. Let me cut it. When you break a plant, cut it a little bit at an angle and drop the end with the stem in the water and watch it root. Let it scar first. Leave it out for like 4 hours. So the bottom where the cut is like hard and not hard and brown, but like it'll turn brown and it'll form like a scar. Then drop that in the water and watch that plant root and then plant it. Like there are these wondrous beings that we learn so much from. Um, George Washington Carver, who is the greatest agricultural scientist in modern times,
Hmm.
said that the plants used to talk to him and they would tell him what they could do.
Wow.
And he would just hang out with the plants and they would talk to him and tell him what they could do.
Wow.
And I believe that. Like, I believe that man had such a deep and close relationship with nature that he could contemplate and sit and listen and touch plants and they would tell him, I could do this. I
Mm.
could be this.
Mm. Well, that actually is a good segue. I was going to ask, what role does traditional or like ancestral farming practices play in your approach to cultivating the land on Black Futures Farm?
Yeah. I was thinking about that. It's built around relationships,
Mm.
you know. Um, I mean, we're just walking dirt. We're just soil,
Yeah.
animated and given life.
Hmm.
And so this thing that I touch, that I cultivate, is also me in a very real way. As I feed the soil, I feed myself. And that's how you build healthy soil. You actually plow and put organic matter into it,
Mm.
so that the microbes that live in the soil can build, and they actively feed these things, and they'll build your soil. And it's like, that's a relationship that I learned to cultivate through talking to my grandma. She's so thrilled that when I started farming,
Hmm.
and I would call her all the time and talk to her about stuff. And, then I started to remember times when I spent in my grandmother's garden as a child.
Hmm.
And we have a lot of people coming to the farm who are diasporic and continental Africans. So when I say a diasporic African, I'm talking about a Black person who was born outside the land of Africa, including Caribbeans, Black North Americans. All of us are diasporic Africans, and continental Africans,
Yeah.
and we hang out a lot and talk about growing, and we learn a lot from our friends.
Mm.
So things like mounding,
Mm. Hmm.
planting in clusters as opposed to rows is
Yeah.
one thing that I've learned to do. Like, and this is not necessarily an African thing, but this is an indigenous and like
Hmm.
an everybody thing. Plants like to be in community.
Yeah.
Like the Europeans plant things, they monocrop in
Hmm.
rows, right?
Yeah.
We like to plant things in bunches.
Yeah. More
Right.
circular
Yeah.
planting. Yeah.
And just clusters. Some plants require more like warmth. And so you're going to mound the soil around it and keep feeding that mound with leaves and stuff and
Yeah.
nutrients.
I've also heard like certain plants do well together, right?
Companion planting is
Yeah.
what that's called.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
if you plant a lot of colorful flowers among your food crops, it's going to attract pollinators, and probably some predators. And then the predators will then eat the things that's eating your plants.
Yeah.
And it's okay for your plants to have a certain amount of predation, because when bugs eat plants release these things called flavonoids to
Mm.
repel the bugs, but it tastes better to you.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
That's why you
Yeah.
get the raggedy leaves off collard greens. Those are the best ones.
Mhm. I didn't know that.
I will say that my favorite times are when youth groups come.
Hmm.
I used to be a high school teacher. And when young people come and they like, I watch that light come on in their eyes,
Mm,
and I watch them like put their phones down and like,
yes, that's a big one.
and it takes time, right?
Yeah,
Like I can tell you to put your phone down, but you're not gonna.
it's got to be something you want to do.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And so to watch young people be like, oh, this is magical,
Hmm.
and to watch them like have a change from ain't nothing out here but a bunch of dirt and trees.
Hmm. Because that's
To,
the attitude a lot of the times.
absolutely,
Yeah,
I
there's
understand
no
it.
no magic at all in.
I played video
But
games for 4 hours
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah,
Okay, listen, I got it.
yeah,
You understand me?
yeah,
I remember when Atari came out.
yeah,
I get it.
yeah,
I love being on my phone and I need to put it down.
yeah.
So I understand. Like I get it.
Hmm.
And but even just on a cellular level, like we're all in search of these dopamine rushes.
Yes.
And when you are on the land and you allow it to like touch you, when you allow the spirit of the land to touch your spirit, you get a dopamine rush.
Mm-hmm.
You get a much more sustained level of well-being.
Hmm.
Mirabai and I, when we got started, we used to spend 14 and 15 hours a day at the farm.
Yeah.
You understand me? Like planting, turning over soil, pulling weeds, harvesting, getting CSAs together. Like it was hardcore. And I've never felt better.
Yeah.
I've never felt better. It wasn't just like the physical work. It was like cultivating this relationship with this person who I love and who I'm, like in partnership with. The land, knowing that I'm doing what my ancestors put me to do, feeling like my DNA is literally activated. I'm getting to know things. My intuition is telling me things that I had no idea I even had access to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the spiritual component. Son, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm gonna tell you what you need to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's some cold work.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we deprive ourselves of by being so cosmopolitan is our relationship with the land. That is fundamentally like we need it.
Definitely.
To be fully healthy as beings. And I think this is not exclusive to Black people. I think all human beings need to be in concert with the land in some way for you to be fully healthy and whole.
Yes. Yeah. So it looks like we've got some Q&A.
Cool.
Right, please. Anything in the chat that we'll repeat it and see.
Yeah, so it's from Dwayne Thomas. Perhaps to that point about youth groups, I've also loved having grandma at the farm.
Yes.
What are the ways we can continue and build on intergenerationality at the farm or at home?
Yeah.
Do I need to repeat that or did that pick up?
Oh, yeah, you should repeat it. Yeah.
Okay. So this was from Dwayne Thomas and he was asking about youth groups, right? And what sort of way can you repeat it again?
What are the ways we can continue and build on intergenerationality at the farm
Okay.
or at home?
What are some of the ways that we can build on intergenerationality on the farm?
It's important not just to serve the young, but to serve our elders, because the only way we can be here is for what they did for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to honor them. We have to ask them questions, not just, hey, sit in the chair, old lady, like, be cool. Like, what can you teach me?
Yeah. Yeah.
What can I take? What can I give you? How can I honor and serve you? And what can I learn from you? What can pass through me to the youth? Like I'm not the most important person in any room. If there's ever people who are younger than me or older than me, y'all are the most important people. Like my job and my position is to get through the door, open the door, hold the door open. Mm-hmm. Like it's not just so I could be in a room by myself. And I can't be there if my elders don't pave a way for me or teach me something so that I can get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think we have to always honor our elders and like, particularly Black women elders, like hold them at the center. Yeah. They are the pillars and the foundation of our community. They are literally the closest thing we have to God. Mm-hmm. And so if you are like an African person, if you call yourself an African person and somebody who honors our heritage and who we are, we have to honor our elders. Mm-hmm. And we have to uplift our youth. Yeah. And that is in you and not on you. It's not something you can perform, not sustainably. Yeah. You have to really love your people, and in loving your people, you love and honor your elders and you uplift your youth.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the other important part too, when it comes to our elders, is they can attest to how the land has changed
Yes.
over time,
Yeah.
which I think is incredibly crucial when we talk about Afroecology. I think
Mm.
sometimes people try to gaslight us in terms of how the climate is changing.
Oh yeah.
But then our elders are like, no, like I remember I've lived 20 of these seasons, 30 of these seasons, 40 of these seasons, and I can attest over time how
Yeah.
this is abnormal or this is
Yeah.
normal
It didn't
or
used to be like
or it
this.
doesn't used to be this way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Any other questions in the chat? Yeah, so the question was, how can our larger community help meet this moment and support our farmers and organizers, especially with all of the things happening at the federal level with this administration as well?
Yeah. I think there's a few things. I think everybody needs to take a deep breath. Like, that's the first thing, is that we have to center ourselves, right? In many ways. So like, let's take a deep breath. Let's be responsive, not reactive. And then let's get in these virtual rooms together, physical rooms. Let's build on the relationships we have. Let's listen to the people who are already doing the work. Let's find out what's already there and add on, as opposed to duplicating. And, it's really a time for us to put our egos to the side. I don't care if you don't like me. It's not important that you like me. I don't have to like you. You love Black people like I love Black people. You want to help us get through this? Okay, let's put our egos and let's decide on a place where we can meet and work together. And that is all that's important for this moment. We can deal with our personal or philosophical or religious. We can do all that stuff later. Right now, we have to meet the response. We have to respond to the needs of our people in a way that is intelligent, strategic, and sustainable. That's what's important. We excel at these like spurts of movement, and as the original people, we know the long game, but we have to act that way, like we know it. And then we have to be patient with each other, because we're just humans. We're gonna mess things up. Okay. So when I was 23 and getting ready to graduate, one of my mentors is Angela Davis, right? Like everybody knows Angela Davis, just Dr. Angela Y. Davis. Cool piece of work. I'm honored because she was a friend of my family's and I had a lot of access to her. So she was teaching at UC Santa Cruz when I was getting ready to leave, and I had avoided her because, like, I was a bum, and that's Angela Davis, and you can't be around Angela Davis and be no bum and like high all the time. And, like I was just like an irresponsible college student. And that's still Auntie Angela. Like, she was in my life as like she knew me before I was born. But I helped her move and all this stuff, and I would have dinner with her. So anyway, I go to her office, and she had helped me get this internship. She's like, okay, so what are you going to do now? And I was like, shit, I don't know. I thought I was going to die fighting the police in the revolution. And she said, Malcolm, the easy thing is to die for the revolution. It's like, I've lost a lot of friends, right? And she has. She says, the hard thing is to live for the revolution. And she said, the revolution is not these like spikes. And she did her. It's like, the revolution is not these spikes. The revolution is the long game. She didn't say long game, but it's the length of time and the thing that happens between the organizing, the meeting. That's the revolution, the socializing, the building of power. And so we have to do that. And we are doing that. It's not that we're not. We are doing that right now. We have to bring more people in. Everybody ain't gonna make it. Everybody doesn't want what we want. Some people just want to be better white folks. They want to get in a white folks position. Those people got to go. I feel like when Noah was building the ark, right? Like God came to Noah. He was like, hey, blood, I'm about to flood this whole joint. You should build this boat. You're going to build this boat, and you're going to take some people, and you're going to take these animals, and then it's going to be cleats for the rest of y'all. And Noah was like, come on, God. And he was like, all right. And then it started sprinkling, and Noah was like, shit, I guess I better start. All right. And then it started raining. And Noah would tell his friends, he's like, hey, man, God told me. And they'd be like, man, whatever. Because, it's like this is an allegorical story, but, it's the beginning of like human civilization, right? They've never had anything like this happen. There hasn't been a cataclysm. They lived in relative paradise. I feel like that now. Like we're telling people, hey, America is getting ready to cook your ass. Like America is reverting to its worst self. And we who have been the victims of Americanism should be the wisest witnesses. We have seen this before. After the Civil War, We had 12 years of Reconstruction, and then we had 100 years of Jim Crow. 100 years. 2 lifetimes, 3 generations of repression before we emerged into the mid-60s to start this iteration of the battle. And then we sprinted through the 70s and the early 80s, and then we took our foot off the gas because our material conditions for a lot of us were better. A lot of us moved into the working class. And, you know, Black people had been, for the most part, in deep poverty. But enough of us moved into the token middle class and the working class, and we were in cities. We were like, oh shit, okay, we can relax. Nah, son, you can't relax because America still got its foot on your neck. And I'm a product of that. You know, my family left the Deep South and we encountered some success. You know, we bought houses and cars and people became doctors. And, you know, I have family that are in politics and, like, you know, the material conditions of my family did improve. But for the masses of Black people, if we were to look at how thin the margin is between most of us and poverty, it's a very thin margin. So have our material conditions increased so much that we can relax? They have not. And the system is not built to work for the masses of people, which is counter to Black people's, like, basic desire is to be in community and with each other. If I'm doing well, I want you to do well. And I will work overtime to help you do well. Your reflection, your prosperity and health is a reflection of me. I am because we are. We are because I am. That's a fundamental truth of Black people all across the world. I am because we are because I am. And when that statement is in operation, we're doing well. Where that philosophy is not in operation, we are struggling. And we think we can individualize our way out of this, and we cannot. You might make it. You yourself might make it, bro. Little sis, you might make it through extraordinary effort, but you're extraordinary. Black people ought not to have to be extraordinary all the time to just survive. I just want to eat. Shit. Why I got to be A+ and this man over here is a fucking D-? Doing better than me. Come on now. It's because this thing is built off your back. It's built off you. There ain't no America without Black people. There is no America without Black people. There is no Western society. We are the foundation of Western society, and we are an illumination of every single principle that it espouses. Everything excellent about Western society in any Western country, Black people have done it and are doing it. The best scientists, the best mathematicians, the best musicians, the best artists, the best orators. Whenever Black people decide to do a thing, that thing is done, it's cooked. You can't have it back. We got it and we're going to excel in it.
The best farmers.
The best of everything. The best of all things.
Especially when it comes to, you touched on it before, when it comes to the transatlantic slave trade, right? And the myth behind, right? Like, these people were just whatever, right? But it's so important for this conversation, like, that you brought that up. I was like, I need to touch back on that, you know, West Africa, right? And the Carolinas had very similar climates, right?
Absolutely.
And they were struggling. There was almost an audition, right? To see who was going to be the next slaves. And they tried that with all sorts of different people, but the only people who had the expertise, right, to copy and paste and also innovate in terms of the climate over here, especially in, like, the eastern part of the United States, were people of African descent and enslaved Africans. So that genius also is the foundation of this country. Just to tie it back to AfroEcology, I mean,
rice was the first cash crop in America, and when they brought these first Africans from Sierra Leone to South Carolina, they literally re-engineered the wetlands.
Carolina gold.
To grow Carolina gold, that yellow rice. And that was America's first cash crop. So, you know, like, we are just some cold people. And, you know, growing up in Philadelphia, and you grew up around a lot of 5%ers and Islamic people, and a lot of, like, cold Muslims. And one thing they taught us is knowledge of self. So not just in the Pan-Africanist movement and in the Black nationalist movement, you know, in the Afrocentric movement, but that the Muslims deeply influenced the way I think. And one of the first things I learned was knowledge of self and show and prove. So know who you are, black man. Know who you are, black woman. You know, if you know who you are, if you have a knowledge of self, if you know who I am, who built me from the most high on down to like my great grandmom and them's name and where they came from, then there's nothing you can do, because I understand that I'm the oldest human being ever to walk earth. I'm the first human being. We know that the black woman has the EU gene, that all other people come through a black woman. We know that we have the most genetic diversity of any human being on earth. We know this. This is proven scientific fact. This is not like some hoodoo cultural bullshit. This is like an actual, like the mitochondrial DNA of African people is the most diverse and oldest mitochondrial DNA of all human beings. So if I know that about myself, if I was the first person to emerge out of the muck, to walk upright, to walk, to write, to speak, to look at words, to look at the sky and try to figure it out, to give God a name, if I know I'm the first human being to do that, and then I left my homeland and walked the earth and started different civilizations, and you look at the indigenous people of almost every land, and they are dark-skinned people like me and you. And then they gave rise to all these other human beings. If I understand that that's who I am, that little 246 years of enslavement and the ensuing 100, however many years of bullshit these people have put on us is nothing. That's nothing in the face of who I've been and who I am and who I will become. You know what? I don't like doing push-ups. But I bet you I look good when I finish doing them 500 push-ups, don't I? I feel better, don't I? We're in push-up mode right now. That's what it is. And we have to train ourselves to be disciplined and to look at things not just for ourselves, but for our great-grandchildren. Native people look 7 generations down the line. What does it look like if I'm planning for 7 generations from now? What kind of moves will I make? But they taught us that you want it right now. You want it right now. You want it right now. I'm good. Hey, listen, I might not be here for another 50 years, but I bet you my grandkids and my great-grandkids know who I was, know what I did, and they know what they must do.
Wow. I feel like that's a good note to end it on, for sure.
Thank you.
Unless there's any more questions from the audience or the Q&A, we're gonna quickly wrap it up. Thank you so much, Malcolm.
Thank you so much, Miniya. I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you for letting me run my mouth.
Yeah, no, anytime. Oh, question. So they asked,
That's a good question.
with the state of the world right now, Malcolm said that we were in push-up mode, right? So how do we keep pushing forward and enduring, right?
Yeah.
And flip the tables. Yeah.
Yeah. We might not be able to flip the tables right now because we're not strong enough. Maybe some of us are, you know, but we have to train and be in community with each other. Like, that's what's important, right? Even if it's just a simple thing like, hey, bro, I see you. Hey, Ambush, I'm thinking about you. What you doing? You know, like, let's go get some coffee. Let's take a walk. It's the very simple act of building community in real life that's the beginning of everything else. I have to be in community with my people. As somebody who's like in leadership, I can't say I'm a leader if I don't know what the hell is going on. So maybe I'm not in the street, but I know I can go walk around and talk to young people and be like, hey, what's going on? What's up? What do you need? Like, how can I be helpful to you? Right? And then make me meet an immediate response. This is me meet an immediate response, but then how can I help these other young people plan for what's next? How can we flip the tables? Everybody's not going to unify. Everybody's not going to be on what I'm on. And that's fine. That's okay. Like, that's cool. I don't even want everybody because you crowd my space. But I do want the people who I can support and who can be supportive of me to be around me and for us to be together and to know each other and to actually care for each other in real life. I want that. And I understand that, you know, unity is strength. So I'm looking for my people. You know, where's my tribe at? Like, I'm a weird black dude. Everybody's not going to be around me. That's okay. That's fine. Like I said, I'm used to being the odd person out. Totally all right. You know, I'm used to being the weirdo in the room. Totally okay. But when I hook up with other weirdos, when I was in high school in Philly and I found other kids who like to ride skateboards and like bomb around the city at 3 o'clock in the morning and take pictures and just do weird shit, like, that was the best. That was the best. Like, there's nothing better than being on South Street at 2 o'clock in the morning. July, hot. Come on. 2 o'clock in the morning on South Street in Philly with your people. Nothing better. Only black kid out there. Nah, it's fun. I mean, just, we have to find your tribe, organize, get together, add on where you can, people like AJ at Equitable Giving Circle, we have to just be in community with you. That's the most important thing. You can't phone this in. You can't dial it in. You got to actually show up and then be committed to it, because this shit is hard. It really is. And it's a lot of, but when things get hard for me, I think about my ancestors who came in the belly of the ship, people who had no days off ever, did not know a day of rest, maybe by accident. Think about the people who grew up and died in bondage. And I am no less than them, right? How about the people who had to walk 7.5 miles to work every day, couldn't get a car? Or any of the hardships that we go through, those people made me and made you. They didn't have easy lives. Black people did not know ease until this is that's why we be looking at young people like, if you don't get up off the couch and stop relaxing, right? We're like, get up. Why? Let that kid relax. Let that kid have access to some leisure. Don't let hard work be a stranger, but it's okay to relax. It's okay to sleep all day. It's all right. You might need to sleep all day. I remember my dad used to get so mad at me. I'd be asleep. I'd be like, bro, I just was at swim practice 15, 20 hours this week. I went to work with you all day on Saturday. Can I sleep on Sunday? Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. I'm gonna need you to help me paint this house. But my dad is 84 years old and grew up under segregation and had to worked on the farm. So I get it, I understand, but I think we need to have access to leisure. We deserve it. If we can't have leisure and relaxation, who the hell can? So that's how we get strong. We get unify, add on, find your people, organize. Take care of each other. We will endure. We're going to get through this. We will. We are going to get through it. We are going to get through it. Black people are waking up. A lot of us have been awake. More of us are waking up like, oh, this shit really ain't cool. Okay, what do I have to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to give you guys some quick little updates on what Imagine Black has coming up in the next few weeks. We have right on the Black Possibilities app for the people who are joining live. It'll be in the exact same place. On the Afro Ecology space, we've got a yin chair yoga session where you can join in from your chair and sort of ease some of that tension. So all you have to do is pop in on the app and on Wednesdays from 12 to 12:30. We've got a mass call coming up with Equitable Giving Circle on December 9th from 5:30 to 6:30. It's going to be a space for us to connect, strategize, and celebrate our collective power. Highly recommend joining that. And also, like Malcolm said earlier, one of the ways that you can start getting reconnected to the land is just getting a plant and taking care of it. And Imagine Black is proud to just keep our partnership up with Urban Forestry in their tree giveaway program. We're one of the community partners, and if you're interested in potentially having a free tree for your yard, you can get connected with us and we can get you connected with them so that you can get a free tree. And they also will provide services to come and make sure that your tree is looking good in like a year or so, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So yeah, those are the updates. Thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Time. We definitely will do this series again.
Yeah.
Thank you to the audience. And thank you to everyone online. So I think we'll close out.
All power to the people.
At Imagine Black, we envision living in a city that loves Black people. We imagine a world where every Black person has the rights, resources, and recognition to be part of a thriving, resilient, and connected community. We are freedom dreamers. Now is the time to invest in Black liberation and self-determination. Your support is critical to this work. A donation to Imagine Black helps us maintain our capacity to affect change in the Black community. Your contributions can help us build Black voter power, advance the call to reimagine our public safety and criminal justice system, and push for a just transition from an extractive economy to a regenerative economy. We all have a role to play in the movement for Black liberation. Go to imagineblack.org/donate. Please give generously. Together we will turn dreams into reality.